It's a double recap. It's a double recap because I didn't have time to record either game yesterday. So we're doing a double recap. I'm excited for it. Before we get into the games, I'm going to remind everyone that I did set up my OY Enthusiasts. All you have to do is click join at the little thing right below the video. It's $4.99 a month. I do not begrudge anyone for not subscribing, but I'll tell you what you get real quick. You get access to a weekly, I think we're going to do weekly. We're going to talk to our subscribers and see if that's what they actually want. Chat. It's going to give you minor league rankings, prospect rankings is what I really mean to say there. And then also some MLB draft stuff as well. A bunch of great stuff. Totally understand that it is not for everyone, but if you are interested in supporting the channel more, and if you are interested in that type of stuff, hit join. Thank you so much. All right. First game, Mariners lose 2-1 in 10 innings. They fall to 10-11 on the season, and they lose the second of the 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. We'll go over the scoring plays. None in the first 9 innings. J.P. Crawford singles to right to score Jorge Polanco to give the Mariners a 1-0 lead. But in the bottom of the 10th, Ezekiel Tovar singles home Jacob Stalling, 1-1, and Ryan McMahon reaches on an infield single to shortstop. Charlie Blackmon scores. Game over. Mariners lose. Bummer. We'll talk about the positives from that game in just a sec, but I do want to make sure I thank Simply Seattle for providing the very best in Seattle sports content. Great stuff for the Mariners, Seahawks, Huskies, Storm, Sounders. You can find it all at simplyseattle.com. Once you find all your good stuff, make sure you use code MollyWatt15 to take 15% off your order. It's a great deal from great people. Link in the description to make it nice and easy for you. But once again, www.simplyseattle.com. All right, the positives from that game. George Kirby did not have his best command, but was still able to give you 5 innings of shutout baseball with 7 strikeouts. And this starting pitching has just been so good. So good. The fact that this was one of the worst starts that they've gotten over the past week is pretty crazy. Now, there is some concern here that Kirby mentioned that he is not 100% right now. That's not great. Arm soreness scares the you-know-what out of me. It always will. It's going to be, especially with how pitchers are falling down like flies right now, it's scary. Now, he says that he can pitch through it, but it is concerning. It is concerning. He also issued his 3rd walk of the year. Come on, George, throw strikes. But I thought he pitched pretty well. I thought he pitched pretty darn well against a terrible team, and I thought the bullpen did a pretty nice job. Trent Thornton, gives up a couple hits but works through it. Gabe Spire was excellent. We'll talk about Ryan Stanek in a second. Of course, we'll talk about Munoz. Any positive offensively? J.P. Crawford reaches 3 times. Like to see that. Julio gets on a couple of times. That's about Dylan Moore had a nice day. Reaches 3 times. Josh Rojas gets on a couple of times. I don't think we've talked enough about how good Josh Rojas has been offensively. Defensively, but offensively, I think Josh Rojas has looked pretty darn good. And let's just get into the negatives, though. I mean, they had their chances. They draw 6 walks again. They get 6 hits. They could not come up with the big hit. I'm curious, real time, what they were with runners in scoring position. 1 for 9. The 1 hit being Crawford's single. And, I know Ty France's average exit velocities have been impressive. You take a look at the Baseball Savant, there's so much red there. I haven't seen what the computers have seen. And maybe I'm being too harsh on the guy. But I just really have not had the same level of impression that the computers have. I do like that his approach has been pretty good. 343 on base percentage. And again, I've mentioned this a couple of times, 343 on base percentage, not relying on being hit so much. Has he been hit this year? I don't think so. Anyway, he's got to be better. Mitch Garver's got to be better. Way better. Still wondering exactly how healthy he is, but the offense wasn't good enough. The bullpen. So Spire did his job. Thornton got through his. Ryan Stanek doesn't give up a run. I have not been impressed with what Ryan Stanek has given the Seattle Mariners so far. Like the 2.25 ERA, okay. That is not indicative of how he's pitched. And let's be honest here. The Seattle Mariners bacon was saved by an idiot fan. Because in my humble estimation, that ball would have gotten out. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, a ball is hit to deep left. It looks like it's a double on first glance. And what happened was a silly fan stuck his glove over the fence and touched the baseball before it got out of the park. Is that the correct call? By definition, 100% yes. 100,000% by definition, the right call. Is it the call? That ball would have been a home run. I don't think there's any chance that ball's getting caught. There's zero shot. Now, you took away the I know I just said zero, the 0.00001% chance that baseball can be caught. And by definition, that's against the rules. By definition, that is fan interference. And so the batter is out. But it was a bad pitch. It was a bad pitch. And I just have not seen from Stanek the stuff that suggests high leverage reliever. And again, of course, we point out that we'll get into Munoz in a sec, that we're hoping to have Matt Brash back soon, and we're hoping to have Gregory Santos back, soonish. So Stanek moves to being your second most best reliever to your fourth, maybe your fifth. I've been really impressed with Gabe Spire. But I don't think he pitched very well yesterday. He gave you 2 innings, and that was great, especially, not knowing what's going to happen in the second game of the doubleheader. For him to give you 2 innings was nice. He was very fortunate. And then Munoz, this is his first actual blown save. That's a little misleading just because, not misleading, but, that doesn't mean that he's pitched exceptionally well. He's pitched poorly in a few games that there wasn't a save situation. And the obvious one that comes to mind is that Milwaukee game where he comes in a tie one and shrimps in the winning run. Just caught too much of the plate. Too much of the plate. That final hit, would I like my shortstop to be able to make that play? Yeah. But that doesn't mean Munoz was good. And let's just be honest here. When Matt Brash comes back, when Gregory Santos comes back, when you have a fully healthy bullpen, you're still relying on Andres Munoz to be your best reliever. And there have been just a few appearances here that tell you that there's still work to be done before he's in that upper echelon of relievers. Of course, only one of those runs ends up being earned because, zombie runner doesn't count for the ERA. But he didn't pitch well. They need him to be better. They need Andres Munoz to pitch better. End of game 2. Let's go to game 3. Wait, why would you make a rewind noise, Chris? I'm going to pause while I pull up the other stuff and pretend that this never happened. Mariners win 10-2. They improve to 11-11 on the season, and they take 2 of 3 against the Colorado Rockies. Let's go over the scoring plays. In the first inning, did not look good. Colorado Rockies get off to a 2-0 lead with a Diaz double to right that scores Ryan McMahon and Ezekiel Tovar. That makes it 2-0. Mariners answer back with a big old second inning. Dylan Moore hits a sacrifice fly to score Ty France. Sebi Zavala singles in a run to tie the game at 2-2. And then with the bases loaded, J.P. Crawford triples to center Rayleigh scores, Urias scores, Zavala scores 5-2, and then a wild pitch allows Crawford to score. I think it might have even been the next pitch, 6-2. Sixth inning, the Mariners get some more. Julio Rodriguez singles home Sebi Zavala, 7-2. Big dumper clobbers a home run to center to score Julio, 9-2, and then Raleigh adds a sacrifice fly to score JP Crawford in the eighth, 10-2. Negatives from this game. I think probably the biggest negative is that Luis Urias leaves with injury. As of my recording time, I haven't heard of any type of roster move. They may not make one until Tuesday because they don't play on Monday. I would guess Sam Haggerty is his replacement. You could go with Samad Taylor if he has to go on the IL, which would be a bummer. I'm not rooting for injuries. And he's played a little bit better, as really way better defensively. But so that's a negative. Offensively, any negatives here? Rojas wasn't great after we replaced him. Dylan Moore gets the sack fly, but kind of struggled. No other negatives. Jump into the positives. It's weird to not do an ad read in the middle of this. Look, Emerson Hancock, and look, he did get hurt a little bit by his defense in that first inning, but he does give up the double. And, after losing that game and then giving up an immediate 2-0 lead, you're a little bit aren't you? Just because a series loss here, if it's possible to have a disastrous series loss in April, this would be pretty darn close. The Rockies are just awful. The fact they're not the worst team in baseball is so pathetic. I went on my soapbox last time. You heard my thoughts. Holy crap. Baseball, we got to do something. We got to do something to prevent having teams like this. Team like this, okay. Teams like this, really bad look. Anyway, so Hancock does scuffle in that first inning. I thought he looked really good after that. Back-end starter for sure, but he did a really strong job. 6 innings of one-run baseball outside of an error. You'll take that. Is it the same Colorado that it'll be in the summer? No. Is the Colorado lineup? Yeah. The Colorado lineup is yeah. But I thought his command was good. I thought the pitch sequencing was really good. A lot of credit there to Sebi Zavala, who we'll talk about again. Really strong. And it's just nice that it appears. Now, there was one really, really awful start in the middle too. And again, this is not a dominant guy. He's never going to be a dominant guy as a starter. I think he has a chance to dominate in relief, but it's nice that they appear to have a quality 6th starter. Brian Wu, back on the mound. Great to see. He's certainly going to make another couple of rehab starts, I think, before he rejoins this rotation. It is not a coincidence that he's pitching the same day as Emerson Hancock, obviously. But good for Hancock, especially after that crappy first, to bounce back and give you 6 innings like that. Awesome to see. Bullpen, welcome back, Cody Bolton. Kidney stones, yuck. Can't imagine that's a whole heck of a lot of fun. He gets the job done. Saucedo gets the job done. Voth gets the job done in his low leverage of possible situations, but job's done. Job's done. And it's nice to have an 8-run lead so you don't have to worry about those guys. Saucedo is closer to high leverage than low leverage to me. He's medium leverage, I guess, is what I was trying to say there. Offensively, great to see JP Crawford drive that baseball. I think that gets out in a warm Colorado day. It wasn't cold, but you know what I'm saying. Anybody else I want to? Luke Raley, a couple of hits. He's starting to play a lot better. Sebi Zavala, great to see some offensive success for him. Now, look, you're obviously not playing him over Big Dumper because, come on. But he looked absolutely lost at the plate. In small sample, to be sure, but looked lost. Good for him to have some offensive success. That had to feel good. I heard Ryan Rowland-Smith talk about it in the postgame while I was going to grab some grub. And you want to feel like you're a contributor. And I think Zavala for the first time felt like that. He played excellent. He played excellent. And then the big positives, I mean, Julio now, I believe, has 2 hits in 5 straight games. Again, I want to see the ball go over the fence just as much as everybody else. But now hitting 276. This guy was hitting in the low 200s not that long ago. 276 is acceptable. 315 on base percentage, not what we're looking for. 310 slugging percentage, obviously not. But the hard contact is there. The ball's going to go over the fence. Julio Rodriguez will end up leading this team in homers. Probably. And the only reason I say probably is because, I mean, Cal Raleig's playing at a star level right now. Another couple hits, 3 RBI, the homer. I believe he's homered in 4 straight days. No, it's not 5 straight games because he doesn't homer on Saturday, but in the first game on Sunday is what I was trying to say. But we just don't talk about him enough, how good he is. And I think it was pretty telling that the Mariners had him in the lineup for both games today. Obviously, you're not going to have somebody catch 18 innings. That is borderline abuse. Not to make light of abuse, but you know what I'm saying. You do not do that. By the way, don't ever do that in any situation. It's not just major leagues. Don't have high school kids do it. Don't have college kids do it. Don't have 8th graders do it. Absolutely not. Should somebody be catching 2 straight games? But his offensive potential on top of being such a good catcher, we just don't talk about it enough. He's a star. Cal Raleigh is a star, and I bet they are, but I really hope that they are anyway, doing everything they can to lock that dude to a long-term contract. Lock him up. He's so important for this team's success, as important as anyone not named Julio. And so you improve to 11-11, you go 5-1, and it almost feels a smidgen disappointing just because you outplayed the Rockies in that second game. You just couldn't come up with the big hit, and unfortunately your closer doesn't get the job done. And it would be nice to be 12-10 instead of 11-11 because, of course it would. But you're back at 500. And now you start playing some really good baseball teams. And it starts Tuesday with the Texas Rangers. And you can tell me all you want, April 22nd. And of course, the game will be played April 23rd. So I'll say, hi, you're wrong because it's April 23rd. But you can tell me how early it is and all that crap. I think this is a massive series. If you could come out of this series and win two out of 3 and be in first place after that disaster of the first 16, how good does that feel? On the other side of the spectrum, what if you get swept and you're 11-14 and you've got Arizona and Atlanta and you've got Houston, who has been just a tire fire of a team to begin the year, but still the Houston Astros until they're not the Houston Astros. It's a different feeling. Obvious point, super obvious. But it's a different feeling. Logan Gilbert against Dane Dunning, and then Bryce Miller, Jonathan Gray, Luis Castillo, Andrew Heaney. So you do have the pitching advantage in all of these games. I'm not even saying Dunning, Gray, and Heaney are terrible, but Gilbert, Miller, Castillo are better. I feel like this series is significant. I would love to end this month in first place. And a big, can't be overstated, step towards that will be winning this series. It's not a disaster if they only take 1 of 3. Puts pressure on them going forward, of course, but pressure's going to be there either way. But if you can take 2 of 3, how good you feeling? Thank you guys so much for this longer video. It's not that much longer than my normal ones, but for 2 video recaps, I really appreciate it. I'd really appreciate you hitting like and subscribe. And just as a reminder, that join button, if you're interested, $4.99 a month for a bunch of extra content that I'm really excited to provide. Zero hard feelings if you're not interested. I've got to do a better job of selling my stuff, but I do want to make that abundantly clear that I will not be sad if you don't join. Or, I won't be angry for sure. That's such a great advertisement for me. Check out my great content. I won't be upset if you don't do it. Thanks, everybody. Big games coming up. Big games coming up.